It's time for another video update. This time around I want to show you how to put the doors and hinges on your skins. Now a lot of this has been trial and error. This is droid number 2, so I can assure you I still don't have this perfected, but what I can do is show you what's worked for me, and if it works for you, great. If you find a better way to do it, please share it. What we have here, I'm just going to use as an example. Say for example you've already put the inner part of the hinge inside the skin. You want to make sure it's flush and lined up with the edge of the inner door, or the inner skin rather. And then, assuming this isn't already hinged, you'd want to tape it into position, probably a little bit prettier than that. Same thing on the bottom, of course. Make sure it's nice and centered, right where you want it. And then, I want to show you something I learned from another builder. What you want to do is dig out the $14 hot glue gun. Run a thin bead inside the door, and then gently press the other half of the hinge in there. Once that has dried and taken, you can gently remove the tape. You don't just want to zing it off, or you might take your door with it. And then just gently open and close and see if you have the proper radius, and see if that works. If you have something like this, and it does seem like it's going to work, what you can do is, again, very gently get a pencil or a magic marker and run it on one side and then on the other side. And these will be your guidelines as to where you want to put the JB Weld or whatever adhesive you want to use. And of course what you'll want to do is you'll want to go ahead and retape this, gently pry the hinge off the back of the door, and then remove whatever the plastic residue is. That's the process I found that works best for me. Now, let me tell you some of the mistakes I've made along the way. This door right here didn't want to open all the way. It would only go so far. So what I had to do is I had to basically remove the hinge that goes on the inner skin, and also remove the part that goes to the door. The problem is, I've used GOOP. Now GOOP is a great adhesive and it's very, very strong. JB Weld is as well too. But I know from experience with JB Weld, and as you guys haven't seen it before, you've probably seen it at the stores everywhere, it's this stuff. You just go equal parts and mix. Now, removing that is pretty easy. You pretty much take a Dremel, sand as far to the edges as you can, gently pry, and it will pop loose. All you got to do is sand it and clean it up, you're good to go. With GOOP, that's not the case. GOOP, you have to use a strong, strong solvent which will eat away at it. Toluene is what you want to use, which is kind of like acetone on steroids. You want to use it outdoors, a lot of ventilation, because the stuff is nasty. It's a known carcinogen, and like everything else, it's bad for lab rats. Now, if you just try to give it a good rip and tug, you're going to wind up with an $18 hinge that is for sale. But anyway, so once you've done that, you should have hinges that open and doors that open very smoothly. Now, sometimes you're going to get something like this. What's happened is some of the adhesive has seeped on the inner part here, and it's rubbing on the skin. So what you'll want to do is unbolt the door from the hinge, use your Dremel, and clean up that edge. Now there's one door that's always the most difficult, and that's the charge door. Now in this case mine opens up all the way wonderfully, but it doesn't want to close all the way, and to kind of exaggerate that, you can see from the side here, it doesn't want to go. And no amount of tugging by a servo on the inside is going to seal that up. So this is going to have to be redone. In this case, it's been done with GOOP, so I'll have to put the toluene solvent on there and gently pry this loose and essentially try again using the same method I just described a few seconds ago. So that, in a nutshell, is how you do your doors and hinges. If you have any questions, shoot me a message, or you can always go to astromech.net and ask the guys there. That's all for this time.